right, YouTube, this is Mr. Mean coming at you this Tuesday evening about a little bit after 8 p.m. We got a rocky start, but I think we're good to go. We are running a live play of Low Life 2090. This is still kind of a beta. We don't have the official rules yet, but the awesome Steve Grand at Pickpocket Press has allowed me to share the rules with these fine folks. For the ones who didn't back it, I think most of these guys did back it, so again, that's why they're all awesome. But starting up in my upper left, Mr. Josh, who are you, what are you, and what are you doing?
I am Ether. I am a human hacker, and I am going to ride the web.
Cosmic Flux.
I am Cosmic Flux. I'll be playing Gossamer, former male model who has fallen low and is hoping that his silver tongue can help our crew make a whole lot of Sarah coins.
Excellent. And then we got the awesome, the ever bald Mojo.
Hi, my name is Mojo. I would be playing the Infiltrator Elf. And I'm a saboteur, and I am wanted in 3 states.
Only 3. Yeah, what about your character? There you go.
Exactly.
All right, and you guys all know who I am. I'm Mr. Mean. I host the channel Mr. Mean Speaks, and I host a Discord and all that fun stuff. And you can find me on YouTube, also on Demiplane, also on Twitch, and now next is Navander.
Hi, I'm playing Navander. I'm the resident elven gun hand, and hopefully I'll be able to hit some targets tonight for once.
So true, man. So true. And then we have the lovely, ever awesome Corsana playing.
I'm playing Smokes, a dwarven mage who was a vat orphan.
Is a what?
And I'm looking for vat orphan.
A vat orphan.
And I'm looking forward to getting into trouble.
Yes. And then at the very bottom, last but not least, the effervescent Maelstrom. You're on mute. Oh, there you go.
I'm playing the
Beast.
Scorn, Exarch, and self non-lethal weapon.
Wait, non-lethal weapon? You are a lethal weapon.
I got a thing. Bought myself.
There you go.
So people won't die.
People will die. Something's going to die anyway. Alrighty, so when last we left our... Oh, I keep jumping screens here. Hold on one second. There we go. When last we left our intrepid heroes, they had finished a mission where they found out about halfway through the mission that they had to basically kidnap a little girl about 8 years old. And they probably realized a little too late that it was dirty money. But they did get paid for the job. And it doesn't appear that they were very happy after their payday. But it did put food on the table. It did allow you to keep a roof over your head, however you guys chose to do that. And it's been 3 months of time between that incident and tonight. Tonight, you guys have all been contacted. You've been informed by your fixer, your Johnson, whatever you want to call him, that they have 2 new party members that they would like to introduce and as to help you on this next run. And if you're willing to take it, that would be great. You guys I'm going to assume you've done your due diligence and you've checked them out. The first one is Smoke, a dwarven mage. And you guys are, all the stories you've heard about magic are true. It's very bad. But when it works, it's awesome. The question is when it works. And then the other one is the Decker. I'm sorry, what was the Decker's name again? Aether. There we go. Navander, Smokes, the Beast. Okay, yeah, everybody's got their names there in the chat, so thank you very much for doing that. Aether is a human hacker, basically. He plies the ways of the web. And you guys have heard good things about these 2. They come as a package. They've run a few, you've heard on the the dark web of their exploits, and they seem to be pretty accomplished. So it has been 3 months since your last job. You've done a couple of gigs here and there, some jobs that are basically keeping food on the table. But the problem is the money's gone low. There ain't much left, and the bill collectors don't wait. So it's time to find some more work. You have been contacted by that elf. And I'm going to go to Gossamer as he's the resident face man. And on your little comms unit, however, I don't know if it's a wristwatch or if it's a forearm computer or if it's a chip inside your head. You tell me. But you've been contacted by the elf is all it says. But you recognize the picture of him. It is that same elf for Mendoza Incorporated. And he basically just sends you like a text message because you guys have never really seen him speak. You've heard him, but you've never seen his lips move. It's very, very odd, but that's nothing unusual. Cyberware can do that for you. But he has mentioned that he has a job. It's not a very high paying job. Probably not enough for you guys to subsist on for a month. But he's just throwing the job out there if you want it. But at the same time that message comes through, you get another message from let me look at my name here. I wrote it down. Carlos Aquila. And he's in Fortuna, which is the dregs that you guys all currently live in or are staying. And he has a job for you, and the pay seems to be pretty good. And he wishes a meet. So you have 2 jobs, Now remember what you did for Mendoza Incorporated. I don't know how good you all feel about that, but you did take the money. As a matter of fact, Aether, I'm assuming when the fixer tells you he's got a team he wants you to meet, you would have done your due diligence. Why don't you give me an internet search roll with advantage? And for those in the audience that don't know, this is it's an OGL game. So it does use some of the mechanics from D&D 5th edition, and one of them is advantage, which means he can roll 2d20 and he can take the better of the roll. Do you understand how?
Or you can have a 4.
Okay, so that's with advantage?
That is with advantage.
Wow. So you don't find out squat. Well, you know what? You do find out a couple things. You find out one of the message boards that you troll.
What did he roll?
He rolled a 4.
4 and a 4.
Remember? Oh, that's right. That's a success. I'm sorry. I get him. Yeah. Skills you want to run low. Attacks you want to roll high. So this is a skill roll for hacking. And you rolled a 4, so that's an awesome success, by the way, because the target number was going to be like a 11 or 12, not terribly difficult. So you got a positive success. You find out there's a couple of different versions of this story out there, but basically, one site says these guys are awesome. A couple of sites say, meh, they're low-level runners. They're, you get what you pay for. There's one site that's kind of disturbing, brands them child killers. And that seems to get a lot of heat, especially in certain lower income sections where there's a strong Hispanic community. It doesn't really go into detail. Just, it's one of those I heard from a guy whose niece works for a guy who told her that some guy told him, one of those kind of stories. So how much credit do you give to it? Who knows? But cutting back to you, Gossamer, you've got these 2 comms, 2 text. One's giving you a little bit of money. The other one promises a larger payday, multiple jobs. This is going to be continuous work over a couple of nights and or weeks worth, but the pay is going to be really good. And your fixer is, it's up to you which job you want to take.
Yeah, I'd send a quick text out to the team, essentially saying, got 2 offers to help put some food on the table. Mendoza doesn't want to put much food on our table. Another guy that I don't really know much about. Looks like he's offering a little bit more. Probably means the job might be a little bit tougher. If we can only meet one, who do we want to meet up with?
Why don't we split and do both jobs?
Mojo, I will kill your character right now. That was God speaking into your ear, by the way.
He walks out on the street, suddenly gets struck by a meteorite.
Yeah.
Now,
And then ran over by a
who
bulldozer.
was offering the second job?
Yeah, the bullets that Evander missed with last week, they hit you.
The second job was offered by.
Something foggy.
Well, I will let either Gossamer can try to trace route it, or he can pawn it off to Aether, who would probably have a better job. I don't know. It's up to Gossamer. Do you want to try to trace route where this anonymous job is coming from?
Absolutely. I know how to work my comlink, and that's about it.
Okay, so you're gonna reach out to Aether.
Yeah, back in the day, I had someone to do all of the searching to find out, who was talking
Right,
about
when
it.
you were a male model on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Those days.
That's what we have hackers for. So I will send them the information. I imagine it's like 3 separate conversations to get me to actually send all of the information.
You're still trying to figure out that
I-
whole texting thing, right?
Yeah. So I will probably follow a series of complex and almost too much for Gossamer instructions on how to provide the full context of the message, rather than stop just copying and pasting it. It's not giving me all of the information I need.
So Aether, you kind of get this multiple text message from Gossamer about this job. It's vague. He doesn't have a real name. And he has a name. The name is Carlos Aquila, but that's all he has. So, do you want to apply your web ways and see if you can find out any more information?
Amateurs. Okay. Yeah, he'll get to work after he takes a couple of Excedrin or something and gets rid of the headache that just came on.
Yeah. And of course, the whole time you're trying to do your search, there's another ping comes in that, and he said, and then 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, when you think it's done and you go to start searching with all the criteria that you think you have, and he also said, and that goes on for about 20 minutes. So I think at some point you probably turn your comms off.
Yeah, I got
And
this
he's all
message
really-
about a minute later. It's selling pills, but I think it might be connected. They came in so close together.
Yeah, it's something about
Everyone
male enhancement. He's not quite sure.
Yeah, everyone is probably lucky I didn't go full Zoolander with this character and put his lowest stat in intelligence.
Right? Which I think would have been awesome if you did. All
Yeah.
right, Aether.
It's a school for ants.
Yes. So go ahead and give me a hacking roll or a computer's roll, knowledge roll, whatever the relevant skill is for you. And again, you want to roll low. I'm going to give you advantage on this, but the difficulty is going to be a little bit higher. Or lower, I should say.
So this is going to be a computer's. It's based on intelligence, which is 17, and I rolled a 7, which is less than half.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a great success.
Yes. So you find out that Carlos Aquila is the managing director at the Firebrand Racetrack in Fortuna. He has very, and I say very, strong ties with the Costa Nostra Mafia, which, if you're not aware of what that is, it is the Mexican Mafia. And he has requested a meet for a very lucrative position. You're also able to find out that people who, just because you got an awesome success, people who exceed his expectations, he pays quite handsomely. People who fail his expectations usually are never heard from again. You may choose to disseminate that amongst the group or not.
I will. That'll get disseminated amongst the group. And we'll talk a little bit about the background of the Cosa Nostra.
So you've got 2 jobs on the table. One from the devil you know, right? Mendoza Incorporated, or from this Carlos guy that might be pretty sure he's tied to the mafia in some way, shape, or form at a racetrack in Fortuna. And you guys are in Fortuna and you know where that racetrack is. So it's not a problem to get there. What would you like to do?
I'm good for the job with the mafia. All that.
The mafia job pays more.
Yes, and it's probably going to be 2 or 3. The way, if Gossamer parsed the information correctly to Aether and the rest of you, it sounds like it's going to be a multi-run job with several paydays over at least the next month. So there's definitely going to be some money involved in it if all goes well.
Well, as you can see, I'm ready to go dark side. Let's do it. I want the cash.
Papa needs a new motorcycle, right?
That's right.
I do have a quick question on the sort of the monthly or the downtime
Expenses?
whatever it's called. The downtime cycle, the expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a per month?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So hopefully you guys are all pretty close to broke.
I am exactly broke now.
And for Smoke and Aether, you guys desperately need a job. What about Pixel? What does Pixel think?
I think we should do the more expensive job.
Okay. So Gossamer, do you reach out to Carlos?
Yes, I'll give Carlos a call.
Yeah. Well, you'll confirm the meet basically.
If it's a text, I'll say yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much a text. And basically, your
we'll
fixer gives you a date and a time, which is tonight at 8 p.m. at the racetrack.
All right. I will forward the details on to the rest of the crew.
Now, do you
what could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. Nothing when Mr. Mean runs a game. It's going to be peaches and roses all the way through. Okay, so for the sake of expediency and because it's already 8:30 and I have a hard stop at 10, it's 8 p.m. You arrive on time in your various means. Aether, how do you get there?
I'm actually probably riding public transportation.
Okay.
He does not have a car.
So how much money is on your character sheet right now?
$4,000.
Do you go with Smoke? Do you guys travel as a pair? Are you that close?
Yes.
Okay, so remember, Fortuna is not a place to travel by yourself. It usually ends up in you being mugged. All right.
No, Smokes will be with him.
All right, so that you took a combat cab, and that cost you 100 credits. You can mark that off your sheet right now, please. You guys can choose to split it, or one of you can pay
I'll
it.
pay for it. It's no big deal.
All right.
Is
Gossamer.
Lolita-
Say again?
Quick. I was just going to ask the question whether the sort of the craziness of magic is known to the general populace.
Yes, it is.
Mage could totally go traveling alone. Anyone could go traveling alone and just say, "Hey, I'm a mage. I could take you out, or I'll just take out this entire half of the city."
That is true, and that sometimes works.
Yeah. Gossamer has purchased a Kia Wicket, and
Nice.
he will arrive in that.
All right.
It is not the most stylish ride, but he's tried to make it look as stylish as he can.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's a lifer on a budget.
He dies.
I can see that's the bumper sticker, lifer on a budget. Or no, don't laugh, lifer on a budget. Pixel, what about you?
Arrive in that.
Yeah.
He will arrive in that, and he is looking a lot better than.
You know what would be
the
awesome
last
is if
time.
you went and picked up the Beast.
I believe that was mentioned at some point, and I believe my response is, I don't believe there's enough room in this vehicle for the Beast.
He could ride it like a skateboard.
Don't worry, I bought a scooter.
Oh gosh, a scooter. All right, Pixel, how do you get to the meet?
I'll just hire a combat cab as everyone else.
All right, mark 100 credits off your character sheet. Navander?
I had purchased a Kawasaki Hornet, so I might get there first because it has the highest speed category for a land vehicle. So I'll be
Except for
zooming
the,
along on my classy bike.
except for the 3 speeding tickets the Peacekeepers gave you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You get there just fine. Scorn, you arrived with Aether, the Beast. You arrive fashionably on your scooter.
My Vespa.
My Vespa. Vespa the Beast. All right.
I
So,
ride up and I'm like, hey guys, look what I got. It's almost new. And I buff it.
He's riding up in beast mode.
beast mode. Hey, Maelstrom, can you tilt your camera down like a quarter of an inch? Like all we see is the very top of your forehead.
No, that was my.
No worries. All right, so you get there, and of course it's the racetrack, right? And it's pretty big, and you see there's people coming and going. You can hear people screaming, and you hear the microphone, with a slight buzz to it, zzz, because probably there's some impedance going on somewhere. But they're calling out the latest race, and you see a gentleman. What tries to be a nice suit, but Gossamer, that's not a nice suit. Your suit is nicer than that. And you can obviously tell he's packing heat because it's not tailored at all. It's like off the rack. How gauche. But he looks at you and he goes, "Oi, mates. Do you guys have a name for your crew, by the way?" Gossamer is the default leader because I've chosen you to be the leader. What's the name of the group?
I am a true leader. I think
B
we're those
team.
guys.
The what team?
The B team.
The B team.
I was going to go with those guys.
Those guys?
The Beast
Yeah.
Pack.
The Beast Pack.
Yeah, those guys and Smokes.
And Smokes. Nice.
The
So
lifer.
he looks at you. He checks a tablet on his a holographic display on his forearm computer. He says, "Are you those guys?"
Yeah, that's.
He says, "Follow me." And he turns around and he just starts walking. Everyone can give me a perception check. Again, remember, you want to roll low.
7.
All right. And because we're on Discord, let's be polite and let me go around the starting with Josh and going on. No problem, Cosmic. It's just if everyone starts yelling out numbers, I don't know what everybody got. So, Aether, what'd you get?
11
Say again. You cut out.
with a 14 charisma. So
You cut out at the very beginning.
11 with a 14 charisma.
Okay, so you succeeded. Gossamer.
I got a 7.
Nice. Pixel.
I got a 9.
Navander.
I got a 19. My perception's an 18, but I have a plus 3 mod.
So 18. So it's perception of 21.
My mod is a plus 3. My perception's an 18.
Oh, so you failed.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay. Smoke.
8.
Beast.
5.
Nice.
Perception is a.
So you guys all succeed except for Navander. You guys can tell that 99% of everybody here is packing heat. Navander, the gun hand, is just oblivious. Just walking around ready to go meet the meat, enjoying, wow, you've never been to the racetrack. This is pretty cool. You're like a kid in a candy store, paying attention to everything except all the bad guys around you. But the rest of you get it. You get taken up to an office. You wait for what seems to be a very uncomfortable amount of time. The Scorn is getting very, very fidgety. Probably the mage as well. Hell, all of you are getting really fidgety. And just when you're about to reach that breaking point and you're like, man, fuck this, I'm out. And one of you starts to reach for the door, which is a couple of steps away. The door opens, and you see a Spanish-American gentleman, long hair, pulled back in a ponytail, kind of slicked back. He's wearing dark glasses, kind of like mine, but not mirrored. Has a very coiffed goatee, and he's wearing a nice suit. Gossamer, you're envious. That's a much better suit than yours. Even his shoes are his shoes are Gucci Mendoza. I mean, they're nice shoes. And he sits in and he goes and he sits behind a table. And of course, two guys come in behind him, both Mexican Americans, tattoos all over their face, on their hands, but they're in ill-fitting suits as well. And you can definitely tell they're packing. And he sits down and he pours a glass of water, and he takes a big draught off of it and he sits it down. And he pulls a pen out of his inside breast pocket and he goes, click. And then on this, this screen appears off to your left out of nowhere. It's a 3D imaging screen. It pops up, and he says, "I am Carlos Aquila. I am sure you've done your research, as I have done mine." He says, "You see this?" And he points. And the first thing he shows you is what looks like a portable cell tower, right? It's about 8 feet tall. It's got some struts on it. It looks like it compacts down to maybe 3 feet tall. It's got some computer doodads on it. Most likely Aether knows what it is. Maybe Pixel, but the rest of you are kind of like, yeah, it's techie shit. That's all you need to know. And then he taps the phone again, and then it shows what looks like a chemical plant. And he says, and he points at it and he says, "Chemical plant. I'm sure you've seen one." Clicks the button again, and it shows an electronics factory. You can see, you see the name of it's like Electronics R Us, trucks pulling in and out. And he clicks the button and it shows a dock where you see these containers. You've all seen them before. They look almost like pony kegs, but they're more for industrial use. You really can't buy them in the civilian sector. And he's like, "These are the things I need. You, or I should say, you, are going to get them for me. See? See." Says, "In return, I am going to pay you lots of cash, stinking amounts of cash. But mark my word, do not fail me in this. If you fail, the fishes will have a good meal, yes?" And he looks at the score and he goes, "Oh, you'll feed a lot of fishes. But if you succeed, you'll eat a lot of fishes, yes? Yes. Now, you have time. Each one of these things needs to be acquired in the next coming weeks. I am willing to pay 5,000 credits per job, with a $20,000 bonus if you complete all the jobs in 3 weeks." Jace? He's looking at you for approval, Gossamer.
Yeah, that's a very good offer. I think it's something that we may be able to get behind.
Jace, I am benevolent. I will send the data to your computer. You may leave me now. Goodbye. And he goes back to sipping on his water.
Gossamer will stand and head towards the door.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, Smokes will follow.
Mojo? Or Pixel?
Yeah, we're going out.
All right. Everybody's leaving, I take it?
Grumble and follow.
No questions? Aether, you don't have any questions?
Did he give us coordinates or anything?
He said he was going to send the information to Gossamer.
As we get out the door.
We have to go back to him with questions after we look at whatever Gossamer's got. We'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, you've got his contact information. So I'm assuming you guys will go to whatever safe house it is that you have.
After we get outside his door, out of earshot, or hopefully out of earshot, Gossamer does say, "Oh, for a moment there, I thought it was going to show us his vacation pictures."
Gossamer, you had one job. Negotiate. Get good money. Look pretty. All same job. All you. I cleave things in half. You negotiate. Where was the negotiate?
We're getting paid $35,000 for this. Assuming
He
that
said
we do the job.
5,000.
Yeah, he said 5,000 3 times. There are 3 jobs, and then a $20,000 bonus if we actually do all 3 jobs correctly and in 3 weeks' time.
But
Or
is he
less.
paying each of us 5,000, or is he paying us 5,000?
Typically, you understand that the job is per person. So it's 5,000 per person. That is the general understanding. Nobody's going to do any kind of wet work for a lump sum of 5,000, especially when you have a team and you have expenses. Ammunition is expensive. Ordnance is expensive. Hell, a combat cab going, a couple of blocks is $100. Come on.
I walk over to Gossamer, I sling my arm over his shoulders, and I say, "Don't worry. The beast is here to tell you. Ask more questions. Look pretty. You're doing good with the pretty. And then I pat him on the back and I walk to my Vespa. And I say, beautiful beast I ride now, yes?
You have to kill to get it.
Smoking out the rear. Are you guys going to meet up at one location to talk about things, or what's the plan?
I figure we'll meet up at one location.
So,
I would imagine it's probably somewhere public that we could rent.
Yeah,
a
we
room.
would probably meet at like a bar or something because we don't really have a place.
there's
an
a couple of
apartment,
bars
nothing.
where, you Gossamer, you and Navander probably know a place where you could meet, and a lot of these places will have it's a little knob in the center of the table, and it basically is a white noise generator. You push the button and it creates a bubble, so listening devices and things like that won't pick up anything. Anybody outside of the bubble really can't hear. All they hear is it's kind of one of those kind of things. So because the tech is pretty solid, if we can put cyber arms on people, I'm sure we can develop something like that. So if you're listening, Steve, that would be a cool item to add into the game. You can give credit to Mr. Mean and the noobs, or no, what was it? Those guys.
Those guys.
Those guys.
Those guys.
My
That's
my
spelled
takeaway
DOSE,
from all
by
of
the way.
that- My takeaway from all of that is that Navander and Gossamer both know about Small Knob.
I'll leave that to them to explain upon.
I
But
say, hey, there's a place I go to after fights. It's a good place. Lots of cage fighters there. Very good alcohol. Cheap. Fun time. And they have a pit, so if you get bored, you can go out and fight some.
oh, that's just what Gossamer wants. That's the kind of place he hangs out at all the time.
Yeah. No.
Well, that would be a good place for us to
Come
go.
on, Gossamer. We'll put some hair on your chest.
It's up to you guys. Where do you want to go? Somebody make a decision.
Is there anywhere nearby?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the place Beast is talking about is the closest.
Okay. Yeah. As long as there is somewhere private there that we
Yeah,
can get into.
yeah.
and
They
be
also
able to-
have the same little white noise generators on the table. Now, whether or not it works, that's a different story. But hey, they're there.
It's called the Prancing Pony.
No, it's the Delicate Daisy,
There we go.
because that's where all the cage fighters go, right? Regardless, you go and you're able to get a table. It's not too crowded this time of night. The fights haven't actually started yet. It's still early. It's barely 9:00 at night. So Gossamer, your little personal comp goes off, and you get the instructions for everything. And the first thing on the list is a portable cell tower. There's really not much information. It just says, it has to have this many megajoules and this many amps and watts, and it needs to provide, this amount of megahertz for signal. You could probably give those specs to Aether, and he could probably pull that up for you and find one.
Yeah.
How you guys go about getting it is up to you. He has not given any instructions in any of this work, except that he just needs it, and it's up to you to get it. And if you get it all within less than 3 weeks, there's the bonus. And you figure the hardest thing will probably be the chemicals, because those are probably, and the computer parts may be a little bit tough, but and there's specific items on the computer parts as well, and the chemicals as well. And I'm not a chemist by any shape or form. Even though I slept at a Super 8 last night, I'm still not good enough to list off weird chemical names. So yeah, nerd.
Chemical engineer.
Nerd. That's okay. I'm in IT for 20 plus years now, so I totally understand. And I was a cop before that, so go figure. Two are not related. But yeah, you'll know enough complex chemicals and stuff. You recognize what they are, and if you don't, it would be a quick, Google search to figure out what they are. So I'm assuming you're going to give all the computer work to Aether to do.
Yes, absolutely. I'll share the information with everyone,
Right.
but make sure that if I identify something that seems to fall into one of my teammates' area of specialty, I'll make sure to highlight that for them.
Okay. Yeah, and this may be an issue of like the building security at the chemical plant. That might be something that goes to the gun hand. Maybe, I don't know if the gun hand's good at security or not.
Infiltrator.
Say what?
Infiltrator. We have an infiltrator.
Oh, we do have an infiltrator. That's right, Pixel. So yeah, it may be pertinent. So what's which thing on the list are you going to go first? You have the portable cell tower, the computer parts, chemicals, or small containers, and it's a very specific type of container that is needed. Not one that you can't go to Kmart and pick one up. You know what I mean? Or Walmart. It's a specific container that you're going to have to figure out where it's at.
I think probably the smart move is to figure out where all these things are at,
Okay.
and then figure out what we want to tackle first.
Okay. So with that being said, why don't you give me 4 rolls, and we'll take them one by one. So which one do you want to search for first?
Work down the list.
All right. So
Start
the
with
cell
the cell
tower.
tower, and then the chemicals, and then the computer parts, and then the containers.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an internet search roll.
Okay, so that'll be computer, and I have advantage on computer tasks.
Nice. Well, aren't you guys glad you hired a hacker?
Let's do a 13 for that.
Okay, that's a success. You find that there is a manufacturer here in Mendoza City that does make them, and it's not too far away. It's the next little suburb over, more of an industrial town. So security there is not god awful. The gangs are light, but in the warehouse district or the manufacturing district that this town pretty much makes up, the peacekeepers are there, but they're few and far between. But they'll be if someone calls the cops, they'll be there. It's just a matter of when. So that's something to keep in mind. But you do narrow down a warehouse where it shows they have several in stock. So second thing would be
Second one is the chemicals.
computer parts. And these are very distinct computer parts. I would allow you to make an intelligent. Did you choose a background for your character? You're muted again or delayed. Not hearing you.
No, I did not choose a background.
Okay. So why don't you give me an intelligence check, and I'll give you a -2 modifier.
An intelligence of 17, and I have a 3.
You rolled a 3?
Yes.
Oh my God. You realize that those parts is what could probably make a very powerful detonator. A remote detonator.
Something up.
Well, you do have a location for a cell tower, a portable cell tower, and now you have what appears to be enough parts to make some sort of remote detonator.
And then we're going for chemicals and a pressure vessel.
Bingo! Guess what I did in the
Our
Army?
friend wants to blow something up.
I was going to say, and guess what John did in the Army? Yeah, so you can give me 2 more rolls, which are stinking, stupid high intelligence. Obviously, he's cheating, Smoke.
16, that's just barely a success.
That's still a success. So, again, you find another warehouse where the chemicals would be.
6. Pick the last one.
What was the last one?
6.
6? SIX?
Yep.
Awesome.
SIX.
Awesome. So yeah, you have found warehouses pretty much all over that part of town, and we'll keep it amorphous as that part of town, or ambiguous, I should say. So, Gossamer, you seem to have locations on everything you need. In a perfect world, you might be able to knock all of this out in one night. But that's up to you guys, how much planning you want to do and how much effort you want to put into it. So you tell me what you want to do.
I want to space it out a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree on that. it seems like trying to race through it to really impress this guy might not be in the best interest of our health.
Okay. So are you saying you don't want to do it all in one night?
Is it possible to place where we need to go for all of these on a map? Are
Sure.
they all in the same area?
Aether is able to pull up a map for you, and you can see that the warehouse that holds the portable cell tower and the computer parts are literally right next to each other. The chemical plant is on the other side of town, probably a good 40-minute drive away, and the small containers are at a warehouse that's probably another 20 minutes away from where the chemicals are. So yeah, you could do AB, scoot across town, go get the chemicals, and then come down, go south, and get to the containers, and then head back west to your place. Or you could go east to where the racetrack is in Fortuna.
How much volume is involved in all this?
The like I said, the cell tower's probably, when it's fully extended, it's about 14 feet tall, probably a 3-foot diameter for its foot spread, in order to stand it out. The computer parts, Aether could probably tell you that would take up about the size of a regular suitcase once it was all put together. The chemicals, for the quantities that they're looking for, they will fit in the 4 small containers, which are each about 3 gallons in size, or can hold 3 gallons worth of content, each container. So they're like a little bit bigger than a pony keg, and they're kind of oblong with a flat top and a flat bottom.
Yeah, I'm concerned about transport because the Kia Wicket is not exactly a hauler.
Well, it sounds like you guys might need to steal a vehicle.
I believe that is the case.
Whose speciality is that?
I think it's my specialty as an infiltrator.
Okay.
Because I have mechanical locks as my skills, and I have sleight of hand.
Okay, can you drive? You have drive as a skill, Pixel?
No, I don't. I can't drive.
Well,
I think
everybody can drive. It's an everyman skill. It just means you don't have any bonuses to it, so you'd be rolling your straight, whatever your attribute is, I believe with no bonus. Dex, yeah.
It just means we don't want to get into a chase.
Exactly. Don't notify the peacekeepers. And the peacekeepers are the ones that patrol this area, this warehouse area that you're going to. But you can choose to steal a container vehicle from anywhere you like, but that's up to you. You guys tell me what you want to do. I'm going to go grab a sip of water, so you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Great.
Well, is there a vehicle big enough to fit us all?
No.
Like a van?
Sure.
Yeah, like a minivan.
We could get a mini
Yeah, we would need a full van, not a.
full van. What I mean is, you're not going to want to use a van to transport chemicals. You want a truck that has chemical containers and strap downs and nests and things like that, to where you're not driving and the containers go flying all over the road.
How much of these chemicals do you want?
Enough to fill 4 small to medium-sized vessels that can hold about 3 gallons worth of volume each. So 12.
Okay, so like 4 small barrels or.
Yeah, they're small. Like, think of a pony keg, slightly bigger than a pony keg, like a half keg. If you've ever seen a half keg of beer, they do make them. Or a third of a size of a 55-gallon drum.
Do we know where is the nearest warehouse or something like that? Because they would have trucks like those.
Yeah, well, Aether was able
so
to
you
find.
go to the company to steal the chemicals and also steal one of their transport vehicles?
You could do that.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm just not sure we have that skill set.
Because if we steal their transport, they'd notice the transport being missing faster than the chemicals being missing.
But you'd also waste more time transferring the chemicals from one truck to another. And how do you get the truck in past the security guards? These are things you have to think of.
That's what we have a score
Well,
for.
we could always
That's what-
have a distraction.
True.
You know, we could
What
just,
if I
like,
tried
blow
forging
up
the
one of the
papers?
chemical building?
I'm sorry, what?
I was saying explosives. He was saying forgery. So I mean, we're on the same page here.
Explosives in a chemical plant? Probably not a good idea.
Well, that's
It
why
would
we
be a hell of a
need
distraction, though, that's for
distraction.
sure.
Yeah, I think forging the papers would be best, but we can't guarantee. But unless he can actually check, we can't guarantee that a vehicle to transport the chemicals would be on base. What
Well,
we may
I mean-
Well,
want,
I mean, we
since they need the containers and the containers need to be filled with chemicals, what we might want to do is steal the containers first, sneak them into the chemical factory, and then slip out with the chemicals on the transport with forged papers.
I mean, you do have a hacker,
Well-
so getting forged papers may not be that difficult.
yeah. But do we need, like, are they not going to be stored in containers that we can take, or
No,
do you think
they'll
we
be-
need to bring, like,
we'll
Containers
need
with it.
containers to transport it, because typically when they store chemicals, they store them in big containers of
Vats?
this.
Yeah, little drums and stuff.
Okay, well, why don't we go over there and take a look at the site? That way we can kind of gauge what it looks like and what we think might work best.
Okay, so in the interest of time, and we only have another hour, we'll fast forward to you're able to. We'll just say Pixel is able to get a vehicle that you can all fit in, like maybe a minivan of some kind. I didn't say comfortably; I just said fit in. And you're able to drive over to the city where the warehouse is, and you can scope it. You know, you could do a drive-by. You can, Aether can probably hack into some video cameras in the area. I'm assuming that's well within his skill mark. And you're able to see that there is security here. It's not as heavy as you thought it would be. There is a main gate. There is a guard who looks, it's a human. He looks extremely bored, but he does have a sheet of paper or a flat screen, because nobody uses paper in the future. He has a screen sheet, basically, a little, like a piece of film that basically acts as a computer screen. It's probably linked to a forum computer that he has, and he is checking the vehicles, but he doesn't seem, I'm assuming you guys take 20, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to watch the comings and goings and how things work. And he doesn't seem to be too terribly interested in doing a very thorough job. Like, you can see hanging outside the guard shack is the big long mirror, that he's supposed to be looking underneath the vehicle as they come in and they leave. He hasn't touched it once in the 40 minutes you've been watching him. But he does check the license plate, and he looks at the driver and he checks their badge and he just marks it off on a sheet, and the gate automatically opens and they go out, and same thing with vehicles coming in. He kind of looks at them, kind of half, attempting to do his job. And then he checks it off and the vehicle goes through and, goes into the plant. And, it's a typical plant chemical. There's smokestacks, there's lights everywhere. There's patches of darkness because, there's some areas that don't need to be lit up at night because nobody's working there. And there's other parts of the plant that are going. You can see, these 55-gallon drums, coming in and out, huge container, tank trucks coming in with, marked hazardous chemicals on them and stuff like that. So it's busy, but it's not super busy. Like, there's not a line of vehicles trying to get in, anything like that. It's like one vehicle maybe every 10 minutes. You've seen like 4 come through. You've seen 3 leave. It's not super, super busy, but I mean, there are people walking around and stuff like that. You couldn't just hop the fence anywhere you wanted. I mean, you may be able to hop the fence like on the back of the plant, but that would require going around to the back of the plant and looking. But it's up to you guys what you want to do.
Do they sell to people? Is someone able to come in here and pick up their product or whatever?
Not here because it's a manufacturing plant. That's what retail stores are for, or purchase orders and that kind of thing are. So no, it's you don't drive up and go, hey, I'd like polypropylene and ethanol, 500 gallons, and 300 strands.
Right.
There's no storefront.
Who does buy from them though? That's the
various shell companies and purchasing agents, wage slaves.
question. Oh, that sounds like who we are.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Cosmic, when you first said that, for real, like, there was a pause, and I was like, wait, why are we buying 2 people? What?
That's what I heard at first, too.
Yeah. Basically, they don't just.
They don't sell to the
Right.
public. They have container shipments that are packed up, purchasing orders, and the guy at the gate's probably just checking to make sure this is the right truck and the right driver and the right contents going to point whatever. And it's probably on his manifest, and that's all he cares about. That's your
Right.
guess. Now you do have a hacker, but unfortunately, low life hacking usually means you got to get down and dirty and be physically connected to that network. And I don't think there's anywhere here that you could remotely connect.
Is there a road around to the back of the thing?
Yeah, there's a dirt road. It looks like mainly in the 45 minutes you've been there, you've seen a security Jeep, an all-terrain vehicle with 2 guys in it. They're carrying what appear to be the equivalent of AK-47s or Scorpions. I forgot what they call them in the book, but there is a analogous weapon similar to an AK-47, SMGs. Nothing super fancy. They look like well-used weapons, but you can see they have them on a gun rack behind them on the back of the vehicle, and they've got a big light on the top, and it's shining light, but nobody seems to be. The whole thing just rings of ho-hum, doldrum, going about the motions to do our job. Does that make sense?
It doesn't look like it would be difficult to breach this place.
Yes, that is exactly the kind of.
Even we could probably jack the truck, and I'm not sure what the computer guy can do, but maybe he can type it in and what exactly?
What I'm wondering is if we can get inside, I can probably connect somewhere and change the guy's manifest to where we load whatever it is that we need to take on a truck, and we tie the manifest to the license plate of that truck and just drive it out of here.
Good. I like that plan.
I
So-
can get us through.
You can get us through?
Oh, absolutely. I can sell that sort of lie.
Okay, so what do you mean? You guys are just going to drive up to the gate?
Well, if we want to go that route.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what you mean by you can get them through.
In our minivan?
Or we go steal a different truck if we need a different truck. But I'm
Well, what
What
do you
kind of
think
vehicles have been coming in and out?
Semi-trucks.
I was gonna ask,
yeah.
what do you think the difficulty would be to jack one of the incoming vehicles a little ways down the road, then come in on that? What do you guys think?
Well, the problem is that even if we jack the vehicle, if we don't look like the driver and we don't match the manifest,
Oh, it was a last minute change. And I'll just sort of spin out like a double talk tail. I can roll con artist if you want.
Well, you'd have to roll it at that time, and what if you fail?
Well,
Which, you shoot him in the face, right?
Also,
I-
just to say, John, for the record, for my 3rd level ability, I took 6th sense, so I have an automatic danger sense.
Awesome.
Just letting you know. So
Sounds
if
good.
we end up doing something really stupid and we're about to die, I'll know a little bit.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, because I haven't seen anybody's 3rd level character sheet, which I didn't ask, so it's no harm, no foul. But moving forward. So the plan is, it sounds like you guys are either going to sneak into the base on the backside and then Aether is going to hack into the computer and adjust the manifest. Someone's going to go out and find one of the vehicles inside the plant and give him that information, and then he'll adjust the security guard's manifest accordingly at the appropriate moment. Or you guys are going to go a little further outside of the plant, wait for a vehicle coming in, and hope that it's one going to that plant, because there's several plants in this area, and hope it's going to that plant and hijack it. Is that correct?
Well, I was gonna say, why? I mean, as much as I hate splitting the party, why don't we have like a small team, go in through the back, get Aether in there so he can hook up, check their log. We'll wait down the road. He can let us know which truck we need to jack, and then he can adjust the driver status as well. That way, I mean, yes, you'll be in there, but it doesn't seem like the security's super high, so I don't think the danger. And we can get in there with the truck and get out.
Who's going to go? Well, is that the plan, everybody? You tell me.
Well, I mean, we do have an infiltrator to get Aether in, and then maybe one other person to watch over.
Yes, Smokes will go with Aether.
Okay.
Are you good at sneaking?
Yes.
She's like,
sounds
I
like a
am the
plan.
knight. To steal from our fate game. Okay,
All right,
so
we approach from the back, making sure the security car doesn't catch us, and we jump over the fence. I have a grapple gun, so we can jump over the fence easily.
okay, so Aether, you're okay with this? Smoke and Pixel are going to provide cover, and then I'm assuming Gossamer, Navander, and the Beast are going to go down the road and wait to hijack a vehicle. Is that the plan? Does that sound right?
That's what it sounds like.
All right. So Aether, Pixel, and Smoke, I need stealth checks from you. Gossamer, Navander, and the Beast, how far down the road are you guys going to go, and how do you plan on stopping the vehicle?
Gossamer doesn't really have a plan to stop a moving vehicle. That seems suicidal.
I got a 5 for my stealth.
Pixel?
I got 12, so I succeeded.
Barely?
And under a 16, so I did pretty good.
Okay, cool. So you guys are able to go around all the way around the back. It's pretty dark back there, but it's not a problem. And you're able to, with Pixel's grappling gun, you're able to make your way over the Constantino wire and everything and get into the plant without being seen. We'll say, to make a long story short, you do freeze a couple of times for, people walking by, either security guards or just workers. But Navander, Aether, you're able to find a shack that has a terminal in it that you can jack into. So go ahead and make whatever necessary rolls you do and write down the number. We'll come back to you. Gossamer, Navander, and the Beast, what are you guys doing? I know you're waiting, but how far out of the gate are you going? How far away? Like a quarter mile up the road or a couple 100 feet? What are you doing?
Probably like half a mile, because we want to be far enough away that we have time. Also, I'm thinking, do we actually have a minivan? I'm a little confused.
Yes, you have a minivan right now. Pixel
Okay,
was able to
so-
steal one for you.
Gossamer, what if, once we find out which truck it is, you pull out the minivan and block the road and act like you're having car trouble? That way, the truck stops, and then Navander and I can take it. Does that sound like a plan?
I think that could work.
Okay. Navander, are you cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
All right. So
Okay.
jumping back to Aether. I'm
Starts getting
sorry.
into character. Sorry about that. Yeah, Gossamer starts getting into character for panicked driver.
Panic driver. All right, Aether. What'd you get on your computer hack?
It's an int versus roll, and I got a 5.
Nice.
Oh,
These guys don't even know how to spell security, much less that it's a word. This is like, you're surprised more people haven't hacked this thing left and right. It is so wide open, it's not even funny. But then again, it's a chemical plant, and it's not even a very big one or a very good one. So you're able to dig around in the computer. You do realize that the longer you stay in the system, the longer it may take a chance of finding you. So you want to be as expedient as you can. So why don't you give me another hacking roll with a -3, because the ICE and the computer protocols are looking, you don't belong there, and it knows it. So what'd you get?
I rolled a 9, which would make it a 12, right? So
Yeah, so you're fine. You can feel the heat, so to speak, but it's not. They don't know where you're at. They know somebody's in the system, but they don't know who or what. So they're starting to clamp down. But you were able to get the manifest, and you do see that it is currently 9:13, and at 9:21, a empty mill van container, or a standard semi truck with a cargo container on the back of it, is coming in at 9:21. The driver will be a Juan Felipe. His license is 27-16-B-1. Hope you remember that, because I will ask you later. And yeah, he's en route to make a pickup. So you've got all the information. I'm assuming you'll jack out of the system, and you will send it to Gossamer, Navander, and the Beast. Yes?
yes, I will.
Okay. So why don't you three give me a stealth check to get out? Or are you going to stay there and when they come in with the vehicle and help them load and get the right chemicals? Because is that the plan?
Get the chemicals.
All right. So you guys find a hidey spot. Do you stay where you jacked into the computer, or do you go somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Oh, darn. I was hoping you'd stay there.
Like a sniper, relocate.
Right. Very good. Right. Because if they track it down to where you actually infiltrated, then it'd be sucky if you're standing there. We're just checking your security protocols. No need to pay attention to us. Go on about your business. Have a
I'm the
nice
local
day.
red team.
Yeah. Local IT, no problem, no harm. Bob is sick. We just covering for him. Yeah, that's it. Have a nice day. Where's the gun hand when we need him? Somebody shoot him. All right, so cutting back to you guys, Navander, Gossamer, and the Beast. You've pulled the van out. You've got into character. You're a distraught citizen with a broken down vehicle. As you see these lights coming around the corner, barreling right at you, you can see the driver, right? You can see the light, and he's like, and he slams as the brakes are locking up and the rubber skipping on the road, and he stops about that far from you. You may have even peed just a little bit in your pants, just a little bit. You'll tell everybody it's sweat, though. They'll buy it.
Right.
And the guy's screaming at you, and he's starting to pick up what appears to be a microphone for a radio. What are you guys doing?
I try starting it, but not starting it.
Right.
As if I'm encountering vehicle trouble. Just sort of wave at him.
Right. He seems. I mean, he's cursing or whatever, but you see, he's bringing the walkie-talkie CB radio up to his lips, and he's about to press the button. What is Navander and the Beast doing?
I'll sprint out and swing up onto the step on the driver's side, tap on the window with my shotgun.
Your what? It cut out.
My Remington Preacher shotgun.
All right, Navander, what are you doing?
I'll do the same thing, but from the opposite side of the vehicle.
Excellent. Well, what do you say, Beast, when you tap on his glass with your shotgun? He's like,
Put that down, please.
all right.
We're
Go-
here to check your gloves. I mean, we're inspectors. What are we doing? No, just get that. We're taking. Sorry.
Go ahead and make. You could make an intimidation or a persuasion roll, whichever one you feel.
Okay. What would I add any to it? I mean, what would my stat be for that? I mean, intimidation.
Probably is it charisma?
Charisma or strength?
On charisma.
Yeah, they're
I would let you use strength because you're all about the beast.
yeah, there isn't actually an intimidation
Right.
skill.
I don't have a character sheet in front of me. That's my bad. And if I pull one up on the...
I have deception as the skill.
Okay, I will give you that.
So either way, I rolled a 9. So I got below anything that I have.
Okay, good. So, yeah, he literally looks at you, and of course you're like 7, 8 feet tall, right?
7'4".
Yeah, so when you stand on the side of the semi, the semi actually goes, you know? So he literally goes, and he drops the mic.
Yeah, he should have dropped the reaction, and then I help him out of the truck, and then I put my shotgun away, and I pull out a massive warhammer with a massive spike on the end. And
Okay.
I say, Commander, look, my non-lethal weapon.
I just shake my head.
And then I smash the guy in the face with it.
Are you trying to kill?
That's so smart.
Are you trying to kill him or what?
It's my non-lethal weapon.
Okay, but again, are you trying to kill him or knock him out?
I'll go for knock him out, but that might still kill him.
Just for shits and giggles, roll your damage. You don't even have to roll a hit because the guy's shitting himself right now.
For damage, I wasn't sure what to put because I wanted something bigger than the standard warhammer, so I was thinking maybe the same as polearm.
Well, you're not that big, so I mean, it would be a warhammer, whatever the damage.
Well,
but you get to add your
no,
strength
just-
to it.
It doesn't have one for warhammer. That's what I was saying. It just has sledgehammer.
Yeah, well, there you go. You just have a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Okay.
Yeah. What's the damage on a sledgehammer?
Not good. I rolled bad, so it's only 8
8. Well,
total.
but luckily for you, he had 9 hit points. So you literally just smash him in the face. You crush his nose, split his lip, knock a couple teeth out, and he goes unconscious. What are you going to do with the body?
I
You're gonna
just
leave it
drag
in the
him
middle
to
of the road?
so nobody rides him over.
Okay. What are you going to do with your minivan?
I'm
Let
gonna
Gossamer handle that.
Yeah, I'm gonna back that off the road. Then I want to actually go and check this guy's ID.
Okay. Yeah. He's got a little
to
badge
find
on
out-
him.
All right, I don't want to keep the badge. Or how much time do we have?
You've got a
Probably
couple minutes. I mean, he's going to be late because, I mean,
not. All right.
but
All right. I do want to try to grab his badge and see if I can do a quick doctoring on it.
okay.
To put a different name.
Do you have
instead.
forgery or any skill
do.
that? Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll. You want to
Alright,
roll
it-
really low, by the way.
Yeah, it's int/charisma.
Uh-huh.
What am I
I'll give
rolling?
you a +2 because Aether sent you all the information on everything. So you've had you guys had a couple minutes before he actually showed up that I assume you would have prepped a fake badge. So now you're just making the roll to put it all together so it looks legit.
Okay. And am I rolling under int or under charisma?
Under int because you're physically doing something.
All right, that failed. So I will use a reroll.
Okay, so this is your one for the night.
Yep, and that's the same. It's not my one.
He has 2.
What's the max?
Oh, you're a human, right?
I'm a human.
Yeah, you get 2, I believe.
It never goes up.
Third level, he should get 3.
Oh, yeah, it does go up per level. So, and your luck pool should have changed as well.
It did not change until level 4.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But your reroll pool is half your level round up +1 if you're human.
Right. Only humans get that, which is kind of awesome for playing the regular
Alright.
Joe Schmo. So how many rerolls do you have?
I have 2 left, but I botched that. So
Okay.
well, not botched. I rolled
All right.
215.
So basically, it's a rush job. It's not your best work. I mean, but it is slightly put together. So what you're relying on now is that the security guard doesn't look too closely, right? Who's going to drive? I assume that's going to be you, Gossamer?
I believe so.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to run this thing off the road.
Well, the nice part is it's a drive skill. Do you have the drive skill?
Everyone has the drive skill.
Right. So you can make a dex.
I don't have it trained.
Right. You can make a dex check, or you can default to your luck with a dex modifier and pray that you get it done. It's up to you.
Yep. I failed that one too.
So Navander and Beast, where are you guys? Are you in the cab with him? It doesn't have a sleeper, so you guys could be in the back.
Yeah, I probably would have just slipped back there.
Navander, it's
I'd be in the passenger.
Okay, you're going to be in the passenger seat? Okay.
Yeah.
He's having a hard time getting this thing into gear. He's grinding. He's grinding gears. Are you going to help him out?
Yeah, I have a pretty good dex. I'll be like, whoa, I can help you here.
All right. So, long story short, between the two of you, you're able to get it in gear, get it back up to the proper speed, and make your way to the gate. Now, you slow down. It's not pretty. You grind a couple of gears. You turn the air brakes off too late. So it's not pretty. And the guard's like, you can see him. He gets out of his shack and he's like, oh, one of these guys. And he walks up and he's got his little scream sheet and he looks at you and he looks at your license plate, kind of scans it with his pen. It's got a little scanner in it. And you hear an audible beep, which sounds like a good thing. And he makes a check mark and then he goes to the back and he looks at the seal on the container because you guys didn't break it open. So he's like, beep, it's an empty container. He's like, okay. And he looks up at you and he points the pen at you and he flashes and it hits your badge and it goes, eh. And he's like, he taps it a couple times. He goes, wipe the damn thing off. He probably got fucking cheese sauce on it.
As I'm doing that, I basically start with the lie, saying, "Hey man, sorry, it's like a last minute rush thing. Frank came down with whatever's going around these days, and they sort of
All
threw me
right,
at this,
dude,
usually work."
I don't care. Beep. Eh. Oh. Just give it to me. He's asking you for the badge.
All right, I'll give it to him.
All right. He takes it and he looks at it. And like half-assed looks at it while he's looking at you. And he beep. And all of a sudden it goes beep. And he's like, oh, have fun. He kind of halfway tosses it up to you. He goes, go on. And the gate's open.
All right.
You guys get in. A little bit of sweat on your brow. Aether or Pixel, I'm assuming you're going to tell him where to go.
Yeah, we'll call their cell and guide them in.
All right, no problem. And you're able to do that. And you found out when you're hacked into the computer where the chemicals are that you need. Conveniently enough, they're in 55-gallon drums, and you just happen to have a Scorn with you that can probably lift them with ease. So you don't even need to fire up a forklift. So long story short, I'm going to say everybody give me a stealth check. We're going to go with a group stealth roll. So meaning if the majority of you succeed, you will all succeed. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you, right? 3, 5, 6. So 4 of you need to succeed at a bare minimum. And then once everybody rolls, I will go around starting with Aether. Aether, what'd you get?
3 beats 16.
All right. Just tell me if you succeeded or not. Gossamer?
Not even close.
Ooh. Pixel?
I succeeded, and I'm gonna use my skill to make Gossamer re-roll his stealth check.
Ooh, there you go. Gossamer, he's giving you a free reroll. Awesome job there, Pixel.
I hope you have more of those. That one I did make.
All right, cool. Navander?
Succeed.
Smoke?
Succeed.
And Maelstrom, or Beast.
Success.
All right. So yeah, you guys, you're able to get the van loaded, and you're able to get everything in it, and you head out the gate. How, Aether? I'm going to assume that you adjusted his manifest already. You've done all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So he checks you again as you're going out and doesn't really care, and you guys are able to get out. So you get where you're going to.
The last thing that we did before we unhooked from that terminal was wipe the access logs.
Oh, nice. All right. I don't know if the game supports inspiration, but I'm going to give you a point of inspiration, meaning that you can choose it to re-roll a die or to re-roll a save of some kind or whatever, or a skill check, whatever. Just like in D&D, you'll have a point of inspiration because that's smart thinking. All right. Where are you guys going to take the chemicals?
Gossamer's place.
You're going to just load his flat up with chemicals.
Gossamer is not telling any of you where he lives.
You could probably take him back to the racetrack.
Yeah, let's deliver the chemicals.
Yeah.
They make him figure out what to do with them.
Yeah. So you're on your way back when you see. Well, who's driving? I'm Navander. Are you going to drive, or Pixel? You have drive, right?
Yeah, I have drive.
All right. So I'm going to say you're driving because you're skilled in it. Why don't you give me a perception test? I'm assuming Navander. Are you still in the passenger seat?
Yes.
All right. So the rest of you are probably in the back, because that would, or you guys could have got into the minivan.
Yeah, Smokes would have transferred to the minivan, so we didn't lose it.
So Pixel and Navander are in the semi, and the rest of you are in the minivan. Who's driving the minivan? Gossamer?
I think that would be a bad idea.
Who else has drive?
Okay. I can drive if you need. I don't have the skill, but I have a good dexterity.
I can ride with Pixel and Evander drive.
Well, you could, but unfortunately the semi is not made for someone of your size. It's human-sized. It's not made for Scorn. So
I can still ride in the back.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you could ride in the cabin, and you take up most of the cabin. Okay, so Pixel, go ahead and give me a what is it? I really need a character. I should have printed one. Observation, perception, whatever it is.
Detection.
Detection. There you go. Thank you.
I rolled 11.
All right.
And my perception is 13.
13. Okay, so you made it. Now, so he's coming around a turn, and all of a sudden he slams on the brakes, and you see there's a semi truck and a smaller, similar car to the Beast, or a similar car, to Gossamer's car, and they are like crunched, bumper to bumper, smoke coming out, and there's a woman laying on the ground with what looks like blood coming out of her forehead. At least her hair is all matted, and the ground seems to be slick by her head. You can't get around her unless you've got to stop the vehicle. Even the minivan can't get by. So, what do you guys do?
I climb out and pick the woman up, set her off to the side of the road, and then climb back in.
All right. So as you reach down to pick up the woman, a bunch of people jump out of the bushes and out of the back of the car and from various other hiding spots.
Danger sense.
Yes, your danger sense does go off right as she's about to stab you with a large knife.
Spidey sense tingling.
Yes. And it all happens at once. So.
Ooh, I rolled a 2 for danger.
Okay. So, yeah, you're able to grab her hand before she actually stabs you, and you scream out, "Ambush!" or something to whatever beast would scream out appropriately. Everybody can give me initiative since I don't get to ambush you because of his damn danger sense.
Only I don't get thinking.
Yeah, but you've let them all know now, so.
How does initiative go again?
You roll below your
score, and you roll under it just like every other skill.
Okay, I failed.
Well, that just means you go last. All right, Aether?
I succeeded.
Gossamer?
Succeeded.
Pixel, you failed. Navander?
Yes, I
Failed.
Smoke?
I got a nat 1.
You succeeded. And Beast?
I got a nat 2, so
Okay.
I didn't get as good as her, but
Yeah, but you definitely, she pulls out a knife, a big nasty looking knife, a Rambo type knife, and goes to shove it in underneath your armpit, but you catch her arm with your other hand so that you stop her. So you've got her successfully grappled, and you can do whatever you want to do. And we're gonna, since you guys all won and I rolled shitty on my initiative for the thugs, they were really hoping on the element of surprise. But when I figured this all out, I didn't know that you had that ability, so you screwed me. But that's okay. So you have her, one hand, you got her like by the upper collarbone and around her throat with your meat paw. On the other hand, you're holding her wrist where she has that big Rambo knife, which to you is about the size of a butter knife in your meat paws. But for her, it's a big knife. What do you do?
like I said, I just punch her in the.
You cut out.
I'm sorry. I punch her in the face with my other hand.
Well, you're kind of holding her with one hand. You picked her up, you said you were going to set her down, and in the other hand you're holding her knife. So do you kind of
But you said before I could pick her up, she tried to stab me.
Right. Well, as you picked her up, so I'm assuming. Okay, so you let her hang. You've got her hanging by her arm,
Yeah,
and then you just punch her
dropped
with your offhand. All right. So roll your damage for your punch. She can't evade. She's grappled.
I got the percent, so I get an extra attack.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I rolled a nat 2 for my attacks. I missed her with the.
That's a critical fumble. So you drop her. She's free, but you have a second attack, don't you?
Yep.
What are you doing?
I kick her in the head.
Oh, okay. Make an attack roll.
I rolled a nat 1 for that.
So I'm going to say you slip and fall and you're flat on your back. She's going to have advantage to attack you on her action.
It's
So-
been a good opportunity for you to use a reroll die.
Yeah. Oh, there is that. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'll re-roll it.
All right. Thank you, Navander. That was a good.
Thank you. It was Josh.
Or Josh.
So I got 15. So plus 3, so 18 total.
Yeah, that hits her.
A lot better than a 1.
Way better than a 1. And he's not prone. Although I think she's about to be.
So 12 damage.
Oh. Yeah, so she just crumples to the ground. You can see her neck. You hit her so hard, her neck is at an odd angle. You're pretty sure she's probably dead or she's a vegetable for the rest of her life. One of the two. All righty.
Ouch.
And we'll just keep the initiative going on my screen. So, Aether, what do you do?
I will, I guess, since we're stopped and not moving, the guys that are coming out of the bushes or whatever, how many of them are there?
There's about 7 of them total.
Right.
You see, one of them has what looks like an RPG. And I don't mean Gods of the Fall.
Yeah, he needs to die. I'm going to take my Remington and take a pot shot at him.
All right. So you need to hit their AC. His AC is a 15. Now, this is where you want to roll high.
Yeah. And that's going to be a 12. That's not enough. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't know. Wait a minute. No, there is a base attack bonus, isn't there?
Yeah.
No. That's going to be a +4. I have +2 for my class and +2 for an aimbot. So that's 16.
So that's a hit. You only need AC 15, so you can roll your damage.
It's a 1.
You cut out again. What was it?
He rolled a
Of course,
1.
it's a 1.
For your damage?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I'm going to say it's enough to make him duck. because in my world it's still a minimum of 1 point of damage, so it's enough to make him duck. So he may not be able to fire his grenade launcher on this round. Gossamer, what are you doing, sir?
I'm gonna pull out I think it's a machine pistol.
Okay.
I'm going to pull that out and shoot at the guy with the dangerous looking weapon.
The RPG.
Yep.
Okay.
Burst fire. I am spraying.
Okay.
Because I can't handle the -2 penalty.
Right.
Because that would be horrible.
Okay.
So yeah.
Need an AC 15.
And with the +2 bonus, I got 18.
Oh, so you hit.
I hit.
And I think don't forget, guys, most of your weapons have a critical on a 19 or a 20. A lot of them have a 19, depending on what they are. So make sure you know what your weapon does on a critical. So you hit. How much damage do you do?
Looks like 6 if I'm reading it right.
Ooh, okay. He's got scrounged up armor, so he takes 4 with the one that he took from Aether, so he's got 5. So he's looking haggard. He's like, he doesn't drop the RPG, but you can see he steps back and he's holding his side where it appears one of the rounds caught him. Pixel, what are you doing? You're in the driver's seat. You can't go anywhere. You could get out of the vehicle. You have enough room to get out.
I failed my initiative, so I'm going after.
Oh, you're
the
going
bad
after
guys,
the
right?
bad guys. That's right. Navander, the gun maid.
Same
This
thing.
is your moment, buddy.
I failed my initiative also.
Oh, and you didn't use a reroll?
No.
Okay. So, Smoke, what are you doing? Let loose with some magic here. Let's see the chaos.
Yeah, Smokes is going to be looking at the guy with the RPG and start speaking in this really strange tongue that just sends chills down everybody's spines that can hear her. And then smoke will start pouring from her hands, hence her name, Smokes. And I am going to cast Vossler's Brain Burst.
That sounds pleasant.
Yeah.
That's it, though.
Okay. Now, for the listening audience at home, what is that spell?
Pulling it up. Hang on.
All right, Vossler's Brain Bursts. Range 100 meters, duration instant. You directly assault the brain of a living creature perceivable as a distortion in the air between you. The attack destroys synapses and neurochemistry, causing 3d8 damage. Luck will save for half. Ignores armor. On a great success, roll damage with advantage. On a triples roll, a psychic backflash inflicts madness on the caster.
On a triples roll, any triples or triple ones?
Triples. It just says triples.
Okay, so yeah, anything triple. All right, so you hold your hands out. You start whispering or speaking some mumbo jumbo that kind of hurts everybody's ears around them and somewhat makes them very uncomfortable. In that, you know, that feeling in the back of your neck, like this shit ain't natural. And then you say these words of arcane power, and you zap him. Make your roll.
All right, so according to spellcasting, I have to make a successful will check.
All right. And can you use your luck pool with this or your reroll pool? I believe you can.
Yes, I
Okay.
can. A successful will check with a -2 penalty for each piece of cyberware. I have no cyberware. Mages and exarchs may access their reroll pool.
Okay, cool.
And I got a 2.
So that's a great success, right?
Yep.
All right. So what happens on this spell if you get a great success? Does it say? If it doesn't say anything,
The
then
spell, under the spellcasting thing, it says the spell is extra potent.
all right. So, and you said the damage was 3d8?
Yes.
Right.
On a great success, roll damage with advantage.
All right. So that means you get to roll 2 sets of 3d8 and choose the better one. So go ahead and roll. Oh, I need to make a will save, correct? Or
Yeah.
all right. And what is it?
Dave.
Say again.
Luck.
was
Luck
saying,
or will.
Wait, I can't hear both of you. Let Smoke talk.
It says luck or will save for half.
Right. He failed.
Toast.
So roll one set of 3d8s and then roll a second set, and you get to choose whichever one you want to choose. It may not always be the one with the most damage.
Yeah, he takes 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage to his brain,
Yes.
bypassing armor.
Bypassing armor.
So as you guys see her intoning these words of magic, and she's doing all this weird symbolism with her hand, and as she's waving them around, there is smoke billowing out of them. It's a very ethereal, like smoky smoke, if that makes sense. It's not like super dark smoke, or is it?
No, it's super dark. She looks like she's on fire, but there's no fire.
Nice. And then all of a sudden she clenches her fist, and she's you can see the guy with the RPG, and he's holding his side, and for that split second he looks up at her and his eyes go wide, and then literally you see his brains just shoot out of his ears, his nose, and his mouth, and his eyes cross and his head tilts back. Some black smoke comes out of his mouth and his ears, and he falls to the ground, twitching. You have to assume that's probably not a good way to go. Now, because you've cast a spell, I believe you successfully cast it, so there is no repercussions. Am I correct?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
It's only repercussions if I fail.
Right.
And then I have to roll on the dark flux table, which
Right.
is very icky.
I really wanted you to fail so you could roll on our dark flux table. All right. So, skipping you and going to... who wants to go first, Navander or Pixel? I'm going to actually give it to Navander because he's a gun hand and he wasn't driving. So, and his dex is probably higher than Pixel's.
Now, wasn't I driving the other vehicle, I think?
Yes, you were driving the minivan.
Okay. Now, was I able to get it pulled to the side and throw the door open as he was grappling the lady? Or
I would
do
say
need to
that
do
you could. Yeah, I would say that you could.
Okay. All right. So he jumps out of the cab, basically reaches into his Kevlar coat that he has, pulls out two pistols, and just basically goes to town. So that'll give me 2 attacks, basically.
Okay.
So I'll just aim at the nearest target, whoever that is.
There's a thug about 10 meters from you. And he's got a what looks like a very dirty, nasty-looking fireman's axe, and he's actually running towards you.
Okay. I think I'm going to use a talent real quick. Also,
Sure.
I'm going to use. I rolled kind of low. I rolled a 1, but with my attack bonus, that would be a 6. But I'm going to use hip shooter to access my reroll pool.
Okay. Yeah, because remember, you want to roll high for combat.
Yep. Yeah, I rolled a 1. So the second roll here ended up being a 12. I don't know what it is. I'm cursed in this game. Like I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah, the AC was a 15. So yeah, you shoot net. Now you get 2 attacks.
Yes, because of the dual pistols, it gives you an extra attack basically.
Right.
when
So,
you're
but
two
you
weapons.
failed on both of them. Yes.
You rolled a 12. Did you add your base attack bonus, and do you have anything else that modifies
Yeah,
aim
your
assist.
cyberware?
My I have the attack bonus of +2 for my cyberware, and I have a +3 from my perception. I actually rolled a 7, so that made it a 12. That's how crappy my rolls have been.
And you are
So,
rolling a D20, right? Not a D10 or a D8. Or
That's correct. That's correct. So for my second attack, let me line this up real quick. That's a bit better. So that was an 18.
All right. And your weapons don't spark an extra critical on. I think most weapons are a 19 or better.
It's on a 19. So that'll do 2d8 damage plus my perception.
Oof. And what's your perception bonus?
+3.
Nice.
So that's 12 damage there on that hit.
So he's got 2 points of armor, so that's 10 points. So you literally just, the first shot goes wild. He doesn't even flinch. He's still coming. Second shot takes him right in the stomach and takes some of the wind. He takes a step back, and then he looks up, and he's like, Oh, you son of a! And he just lifts that axe up and he starts running for you. All right, Pixel, driving the semi.
All right.
Shit's hit the fan.
So I get on the top of the van and I open the tripod for my sniper rifle
Okay.
and I shoot the
No.
closest one.
So your movement action is to get on top of the vehicle, which I'll give you. Pulling out a sniper rifle and setting up the tripod, that's going to be your action. Okay? Because the sniper rifle is not
Okay,
small.
all right.
It's a big weapon. So you're able to set up your sniper rifle. Next turn, you'll be able to shoot. Are you sure that's what you want to do? You don't have a smaller weapon you want to whip out? It's up to you. You want to
I
use
want to
your...
show off with this one.
Okay.
I want to
all
show
right.
off with the sniper rifle.
So Pixel swings up to the top of the vehicle, pulls out he's got the sniper rifle in one hand. He gets on the top. He starts setting it up, and he gets down, and he's laying on top of the vehicle, and he's aiming downfield. And those of you that can see him know that if he hits somebody, it's going to be a very bad day. But unfortunately, at this point, the 6 bad guys that are still left get to go. So, Novander, the one with the axe that's right on top of you now, he's made his way to you. He is going to swing. What is your AC, sir?
14.
All right. And I only have a +1. So I rolled a 10, so I missed. And these guys are mooks, so they don't have a reroll pool. So that's the first one. The chick is on the ground, pretty much dead. Oh, there's only 5 left, right? Because Smoke just killed one. One of the other guys on the other side, Pixel, kind of sees you up there setting that sniper rifle, so he's going to try to shoot you. You do get a +2 to your AC for being prone for ranged weapons. So what is your AC normally?
My normal AC is 17.
All right. So, oh, my gosh. So you're a 19 to actually be hit. So I need to roll a 19 or a 20. I rolled a 7. So he does not shoot you. And then the one kind of on the side that was close to you, Smoke, is another woman, and she's got 2 daggers. And she's very lithe, and she's going to come running at you. She's going to close the distance, and then she's going to try to smite you with her daggers. What is your AC?
14.
14, all right. I rolled a 12 with a +1 is a 13, and she's going to, because she's using 2 daggers, she gets a second attack. And I rolled a natural 1, so that dagger misses you and goes flying across the street. I suck. All right, and then let's see, who else do I want to pick on? Gossamer, you stepped out of the vehicle, correct?
Yep, I did.
Okay. Well, you're always easy to hit, so I'm going to pick on you. So another one comes running at you with a baseball bat again. What's your AC? It's probably better now.
No. It's an 11.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 7. All right, and then I think the other big bruiser that's got a machete is going to run up to the Scorn, because you're the clear. I mean, obviously the mage is a threat, but from his angle he can't see the mage. Scorn, what Beast? What is your AC? 15.
Well, it should have been 15 actually.
Scorn, Beast.
Yeah, I said
Yeah, okay. So he swings. I rolled a natural 16 with a +1 is a 17. So he hits you unless you have.
I activate formless water, so that
The-
adds double my willpower. So a big 20
That makes your AC 21
for the rest of
the combat. Okay, ladies and
for the rest
germs,
of this
that is
round,
one of the
just this
ability
round.
for the round. Okay, that is one of the abilities that a warrior has. So it looked like he was going to be hit, and all of a sudden he just bends some unnatural way that you think a Scorn should not be able to bend, but he does, and the attack misses. So that is excellent. That is all of my guys. Top of the round, Aether.
Well, the mage seems to be doing pretty good at taking care of these guys, so I'm gonna try and take care of her, and I'm gonna shoot the chick with the dagger.
Okay. Now you are shooting into melee, so that's going to impose a -2 to your ability, and if you miss, you have to roll again to see if you hit her.
A nat 19.
A nat 19, is that after your mind? Oh, that's a natural 19
Yeah.
with all your bonuses and everything.
With all my bonuses, that's gonna be 23.
-2 would make it a 21. So that's a critical. So what does your weapon do on a critical?
That's a good question.
Which weapon
What's
is
your
it?
weapon? I have it open.
It's the light pistol.
Just look.
Is it the Benelli?
Remington Covert. It's still 1d12.
1d12.
With an 8.
What is it? 8?
Yes.
Is it armor piercing or anything like that?
Nah, it's just straight ammo.
Okay. And that's the
Well,
1d12
remember,
is what?
that's an extra 1d12, so you're gonna have.
You're cutting out there, Beast.
I said it's gonna be an extra 1d12, so it'll be a total of 2d12 damage.
Is that what you rolled, Aether?
Just 1d12. So
No,
hang on,
you get to
I'm
roll
rolling
another
it.
one. Yeah, because that's the all the weapons have some sort. Well, most of the weapons have some sort of critical effect. Yours
That'll
is
be
that you.
that'll be 11, not 8.
Oh, 11. Okay. So his lucky 1 point of armor drops it down to 10. Unfortunately, being a mook, he only has 8 hit points. So guess what? You basically put the bullet right through his heart, and he stops and he looks up. You know, he's fighting with, or she is fighting with Smoke, and then you hear the retort of your gun. And then she stops for a second in the middle of this melee with Smoke. Smoke's trying to defend herself. And all of a sudden she looks down and right in her cleavage, it just starts turning red. And she's like, she looks over and she looks at you and she looks back at Smoke and she goes, shit. And she drops dead.
I hold up the gun. Magic bullet.
I love it. Alrighty, Gossamer, what do you got for us? There's
Isn't it?
3 left.
Is it possible to disengage from melee?
Yes.
All right. I'm not sure if I still get to act, but I want to disengage from the guy that came up.
Sure, I would
and
say
try
just
to-
make I don't know what the actual rule is right now. I'm sure there is one, but let's just say, why don't you do an opposed luck dex against my bad guy? I will tell you I rolled an 8 total, so you just need to beat an 8.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you beat me. So now, did you make that a luck roll, or did you just... Reason being is because if you use your luck, you have to reduce your luck by 1. So, and I would say you did, because it's outside of normal realm of combat, and you're not a combat monster, so you would use your luck dex, modified by your dex, and you would have to roll equal to or less than that, which you did, but your luck now goes down by 1 until the next downtime. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I think feedback I would have for this sheet is there should be whatever the permanent luck is, and then
A
temporary
slash.
luck.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
and we'll make sure we go through that. So you're able to disengage successfully, and since you beat him, I would say that you still get your action. So if you wanted to shoot him or
Yeah, I absolutely want to shoot him or
Go
shoot
for
at him. So I will do that.
in the face.
Not exactly. I rolled a 3.
You have your reroll pool if you so desire to use it.
And that resets.
Downtime.
next
Short
time we
rest.
play it.
Short rest, yeah.
Okay.
Partially.
Yeah. It's probably a ways to do a reroll, but I will
Well,
try.
remember we're going to be stopping pretty soon, so
Yeah.
use them if you got them.
Up 1. Rolled a 4.
You and Navander, man, the dice just don't like you
I
guys
know.
tonight. Alrighty. Let's see. Smoke.
2 elves, man.
How many do we have left standing?
There's 2 left. There's one on Gossamer, and I believe there's one fighting with Navander, yes? Or no, the Beast.
The beast.
Yeah. Pixel's setting up a sniper rifle.
Which I'm not gonna be able to shoot. I
Oh,
guess.
maybe. You never know. You never know. Maybe. The one
right.
with Gossamer is still alive, so you might get a shot off at him. Of course, you could miss and hit Gossamer. Who knows?
All right, so I'm gonna target whichever one's closest to me with Crush of the Warp. Range is 20 meters. Duration is 2d6 rounds. You cause a single humanoid creature to be held rigid and unable to move, helpless. A luck strength resists. On a great success, you may affect 2 targets.
Ooh.
Nice.
So there's the one on the Beast and there's one on Gossamer.
Yes, so I'm going to do the one on Gossamer because
Okay.
I'm going to trust that my big boy can take care of himself.
Probably.
And I got a success.
All right. Not a
I got
great
it.
success,
7.
though.
No, it's
Okay.
a 7. Wait, where's
Will.
What's your natural stat?
What's your willpower?
Will is 18.
That's a
You need
great success.
9 or less.
So I got to get great success. So I guess I get both of them frozen for 2d6
Do-
rounds.
All right. Do they get to make a save or anything?
Yes, they get a luck strength resist.
All right. So the first one on Gossamer, I rolled and they want to roll low, right? This is an attribute check. So yeah. So he rolled a 6, so he made it. And then the one on the Beast, he rolled a 7. He made it as well. I'm sorry. I rolled really low.
Oh, man. Bad dice, no biscuit.
I'm using
Hey,
my
I tried.
I'm using my also metal dice too. It's really heavy. All right.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the spells that I've got. So yeah.
No, you're doing great.
Brain burst.
Excuse
all the
me.
Way.
Yeah, Brain Burst was awesome, by the way. Although I like
on
this
the-
one too, because if you would have frozen them, they would just crush them. They'd coup de grace 'em and it would be over.
Well, that's kind of what I was going for. That way, the sniper would have a chance to snipe something.
Oh, it would have been nice. Well, he may still, because he gets to go last. Beast, you've got the one in front of you.
I got again on action.
You're cutting
Just
in and
gonna come
out,
up
dude.
With the, I succeeded and got the extra action again, so I'm just gonna come up from my awkward, like weird pose where I dodged the attack and give him a punch like in the nuts and then in the.
Okay. Roll your.
That was uncalled. That was uncalled for.
Oh,
That's gross, obscene violence.
natural
Talk about
20.
hitting below the belt.
Natural 20.
to hit him in the nuts.
Well, you definitely hit him. Now, what's the crit for that? Is it just double damage for your melee? Your
No,
fist?
you actually get more than double.
Oh my gosh. It's just.
Explain what happens to his nuts.
Oh, that's just wrong. In so
22
many ways.
points of damage to the nuts.
How much?
22.
Oh my
Ouch.
gosh. Oy vey.
Reproduction is out.
Yeah, life is out. The guy only had 8 hit points. Come on. He killed him twice, almost 3 times over. So you literally just you did this Matrix move where you defied gravity and then you kind of kip up off of one hand and your fist just comes right up in an uppercut into his groin and you literally see like some of his intestines, what you believe to be his scrotum, come flying out of his neck area, and he crumples over dead, as well as go about 10 feet back as well, because you literally just haymakered this dude. Pixel, my friend, your sniper rifle is ready. You have a round loaded. Oh, what's up?
With my second action, since he died, can I throw one of my throwing knives at the one on Gossam?
I would say you could, but let's give Gossamer a chance to use his sniper rifle, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
I'll
so
wait till
everybody
after
gets a
he
little
goes
bit
to
of
do
fun
it.
tonight.
I'll wait till
By
after
the
he
way-
goes to do it.
Right. If he misses, then you can. I'll say
Yeah.
you hold your second action until after you see whether Pixel hits or not. Pixel, you line up
All
the
right,
shot.
I rolled a 2, and of course, I'm going to use
Oh.
my reroll pool,
Okay.
and I rolled an 18.
All righty. So you hit. Please roll your damage. I don't even. This is going to
think
be.
he re-rolled that.
This is going to be obscene, I'm sure. That's a
Yeah,
lot
he
of
got
math.
The Barrett Spectre, so it's 5d8
20.
damage.
Wait, what?
26 armor piercing damage.
All right. So we're just going to say, Beast, at the same time you hear the retort of this sniper rifle, you let loose with one of your daggers. And, you know, narratively, we're just going to say that the dagger would have hit him in the head. It would have been a killing blow, you have no doubt, because your dagger is the size of a short sword for most people, right? And you're like, oh, man, I got this dialed in. I am going to smoke this guy. But then all of a sudden, you realize you hear the retort of his sniper rifle, and there's no more head. Your dagger just sails clean through the empty space. There's just a red mist where his head used to be, and the body kind of twitches, and then, you know, it falls down. And at that, the screen fades to black, and we'll wait to our next adventure. I do want to take a second to... Oh, what's up? Beast?
Before we fade to black, I want to walk over to Gossamer and pull out a napkin and be like, yo,
You have something on your face. He didn't get hit, though, this time.
no, a head exploded in front of him.
Oh, that's true.
I'm gonna throw a glance over to Beast and just like, man, that ain't right. That's not right.
That's not right. Alrighty. So the screen fades to black. We will come in next session. We will pick up right there. So what I want to do now is just take a couple minutes. It's already a little bit past 10, but please, I want you guys to be honest. Let's let Steve know what we liked, what we didn't like, what we think needs work, or how we felt about it, if we enjoyed it, if we hated it. John as a GM sucks, whatever. We'll start with Aether.
This is my first live play of Low Life 2090. I've done a little bit of play by post. I enjoy the way the system plays kind of fast. So there's not a whole lot of figuring. There's not a whole lot of fumbling with 1,800 six-sided dice in a pool or whatever, and sitting there counting successes. It's just a quick D20 roll and boom, you're moving on. Hacking is quick. Magic is quick. Everything is very geared towards I want to go where the action is. I want to play some more, and I think he did a really good job balancing that.
Thank you. I tried. I like it from a GM point of view because the modifiers are a +1 or a +2 or a -1 and a -2. That's really it, which Savage Worlds does the same thing, which is one of my favorite systems. And like I said with the low fantasy gaming, which Pickpocket Press also makes, I think that's going to be my go-to like D&D-esque type game for me. But yeah, you're right. I feel that GMing this is almost effortless on my part. And that it allows you guys to focus on the story, and like you said, the mechanic rolls are quick and fast and easy to figure out. Gossamer, aka Cosmic Flux.
Yeah. I would say that I didn't enjoy it as much as last time. I felt that the flaws in the character, seemed in. I think it's partly bad luck with dice rolling. I just felt absolutely inept and out of my depth the entire time. It's
Yeah.
like I think I tried to re-roll 2 different rolls and just failed both of them.
Yeah.
I think in the first time I rolled the same thing twice. The next one I
Right.
rolled 1 high.
So
and
is that a failing in the mechanics, or is that a failing in just the dice roll? Not to say you, I mean, but karma is. I mean, the dice are the dice, right? They giveth and they taketh away. I think the rules were there for you. You got the re-rolls. It's just you had bad dice rolls.
I had bad dice rolls, but it was basically a night of
Frustration.
essentially having everyone shine, but I didn't feel like I had any moments to shine. Tried to start doing some fast talking, but that didn't work.
Yeah.
So
And that
it-
may
it
be,
just felt-
you know what? I'll take the heat for that because maybe I should have gave you a role since that's where you shine. So maybe in the future I'll be cognizant of that and make sure to give you that opportunity. I kind of felt like you did do a good job on the role playing part because you were trying to talk. Look, the guy's sick, and your badge. You kind of flubbed the role on your badge, but you made the fast talk, and I kind of prefaced the scene with this guy's really not very serious about his job, so that kind of gave you guys an in. But I do agree, maybe giving you a moment to shine with the fast talk, or maybe a little bit better effort on maybe forging the badge. So I'll take the heat on that, sir. That's my bad. I'll make sure next time, if you decide to join us again, which I hope you do.
Oh, absolutely.
That will,
I love who the character is.
Yeah.
It's just there's only one perception skill, so he's really only good at dealing with people
Yeah.
and seeing things,
Right.
because he's got 10s across the board for everything else.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's a pretty good chance he's never going to succeed
Right.
at anything that isn't dealing with people.
Okay, so we'll definitely take that into account next time, and we'll make sure that you get some opportunities to use those abilities. Because you're level 3 now, so I know you picked up at least one or two extra abilities, which I assume go in to fit the theme of like the face man, the talker of the group. Because your affectations and the style of play, I'm going to give you kudos for, because you were all about the well-dressed suit, the almost nice car. Everything is just, it's one step below where you want to be, right? But you're trying, you're making an effort. So kudos for that. That definitely, in my opinion, it came across.
Yeah, well, it's what keeps him coming back to try to do this.
Right.
He knows where he fits in this thing, and I think for that the character plays really well.
Yes.
It just felt like mechanically
You didn't have much opportunity to shine. Okay, and like I said, I will take the bash on that. I should have given you more opportunities. The downside is we had roughly an hour and a half to get through 3 hours worth of content. So not an excuse, just a statement. So, but I still think you played your character very well, Mr. Pixel.
All right, I gave my feedback in the previous session. John, do you want me to repeat the things I said?
No,
or
because
just
Steve
enough?
Steve did he did answer that, and he did take it into account and said that he is going to make sure that he adds that into the next rules update. The other thing we have to keep in mind is this is not a solid set of rules yet. We're playing with draft version 0.1. So there's going to be a new draft after Christmas. Steve has assured me that I'll get a copy of it ASAP, as all the backers will. And I think, Josh, you backed it. Navander, did you back it?
I did.
Yeah, and then Cosmic, you backed it?
Unfortunately, I missed it.
Oh, you missed it. Was it Pixel? Who else backed it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so it was just
I didn't
me
back it.
me and Josh backed it. Maelstrom, did you back it? Oh, no. Okay. So, well, 2 of us out of the 6 or 7, so that's not bad. All right.
All right, so I gracefully passed the mic on.
Good job, sir. And like I said, Steve did acknowledge your feedback. So, Navander.
I'm kind of in the same pool as Gossamer. The first session, I was just snake bitten with the dice. This session, snake bitten with the dice. I did get 1 hit in this time out of 2 shots, so that's nice. I feel, like I said, I'm more of a fan of traditional skills in these games.
Yeah.
Adding an attribute plus a skill rank is my thing.
Right.
I'm never going to be the biggest fan of the way the skills work in this game. But overall, it's a good game. I'm enjoying it for sure, and I think it plays fast, and it'll be a game I'll definitely play once it releases and stuff too. And I think also if there were more traditional skills in terms of the way skills usually work in these games, it might be a help for a character like Gossamer of having more ways that he can shine in combat and things like that. being able to use the skill for more than just getting a reroll every now and then.
Right.
So that's my main criticism of the game.
I would totally agree with that. I would. And yeah, and Navander, gracious player, just like Gossamer. Thank you. I tried to give you a moment to shine. The dice just hate you. The dice hate you, man. They
do.
really do. All right, there, Smoke, aka you. I'm tired.
Yeah, I think I agree that the dice were an issue. I'm having a hard time adjusting to the rolling low and then having to roll high.
But
I really like the
in
magic.
defense of that, I'm going to say that's their shtick, though. Like, every game system has a shtick, right? D&D gives you advantage and disadvantage. This game gives you, you want to roll high for combat to keep it flowing, but you want to roll low for skills and saves. So I'm not justifying it. I'm saying, from my mind, it works. But I do agree with you that I think it's a learning curve. But I think, for a first-time player, you did great. Your spells were fantastic. I really was hoping for a flub on the spell. I just wanted to see your head explode. Right. I wanted to see that chaos go. I do think, though, that I think magic flows a lot better than it does in, like, say, traditional D&D or Pathfinder. I think your spell was succinct. It was cut and dry. And I felt it. I felt when you were describing it, and then I embellished upon it. It really set the tone, and it was that something extra that you don't have in, like, Cyberpunk or Traveler or Modern Age or anything like that. Any of the other games that are in this same kind of genre, or Shadowrun, because even Shadowrun's magic system to me is painful at best. But I love the world.
Roll
and
all
so,
the dice. Roll these
yes,
dice.
yeah,
and
back
then
up the
roll
truck.
grenade.
Beep beep beep. So yeah, I think as a first-time player, I know you're in a play-by-post, right?
Yeah, but the play-by-post I'm in, I'm not really doing much.
Okay. So at least you got to do a little bit more here. We got to see how magic works. Hopefully next session it'll be a little bit more intuitive, and we'll feel a little bit better. And we'll have different types of missions, so hopefully it'll give everybody. I will make it an effort to make sure that the gun hand and the face get to do some stuff. The infiltrator, I felt, did a great job. He was able to get cars, and his sniper rifle is, oh my god, deadly. The hacker, I think, did an amazing job. Beast, what about your thoughts? You kind of had a couple of moments to shine.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that, it was okay. I don't know. I just felt like this session dragged or didn't. But it might have just been because of, type of situation.
Yeah,
But,
and like I said, I've worked all day. My day starts at about 5:30 in the morning, so I've been up well over 12 hours now. So I'm fading fast, but I think I like the use of the warrior's talents. I think like being able to make a percentage. It's a percentage roll, right, for the extra attack.
Yeah, I mean that's just based off of one of the cyberware things you can get.
Yeah.
So I just have that ability. And then the water one is one I took
Yeah.
as a defensive ability, and I figured, why not, use it, give it a try while we're playing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, everyone figures you to be the big brick, right? And you hit like a tank. Obviously, you killed 2 guys with your fist, but the fact that you were able to, I really expected to be able to hit you and do some damage to you, and of course, I would win the battle of attrition because you're bigger, stronger, tougher. But the fact that, you said, well, I use my talent, flow like water or bend like whatever it was. And I was just like,
Yeah.
What? He can do that? That's bullshit. But it was cool. So, yeah, I saw some of the abilities come into effect, and I did like what I saw. And, it was a short session. We have to remember we only really got an hour and a half of play in. So I think you all did good. I do totally understand that Gossamer and Navander kind of got the short end of the stick here with the dice rolls, but there's nothing I can do about that. I gave you the opportunity. The dice just hosed you, and sometimes it happens.
Can I make one more suggestion also for the devs?
Sure.
One other thing I wanted to add upon that Smokes was talking about here, Joanne was saying, was the modifiers, I think, are also a little bit confusing. In the core rules as we have them right now, there's very minimal written, there's very minimal text
Right.
on what the modifiers actually do in the game.
Right.
So at one point, I got confused in the game, shifting between rolling high versus rolling low, and tried to add the modifier to my attribute total.
Right.
When it really only plays, it only really comes into effect when you're attacking.
Right.
Sometimes you might have different character features that might take advantage of a modifier. So my suggestion would just be to put a little bit more text in the document to kind of explain modifiers just a little bit more, since there's a roll high, roll low mechanic.
Duly noted, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. What were you going to say, Cosmic?
I was just going to say the other thing on the dice rolling is, I mean, overall, I don't think we rolled a whole lot of dice, so it's a very small sample size overall.
Right.
It,
Right.
maybe years from now, I will start on the other side of that.
Well,
sample size.
and to add to that, it was a short session. It was an hour and a half of playtime, and a lot of narration and a lot of story setting. But we didn't have like the typical 3 to 4 hours that we would normally have. So it is a system we're all getting used to. So, and Josh and Joanna played it for the first time. Playing it by a post is completely different than actually rolling dice and playing it with a group. But in all fairness, I think you all did an excellent job, even though I know the dice hosed some of you. But you have the chemicals. We'll pick up right where we left off next Tuesday. There shouldn't be an issue. And I really appreciate everybody taking the time out to play. I did have fun telling the story, and I think you guys have some directions to go in, and go from there. And then we'll see what happens next time. So as always, peace and hair grease. This is Mr. Mean saying thank you to all you guys on the screen, to the Meanie Army, and then thank you to Steve Grand and Pickpocket Press for making this cool game that's only going to get better in the future. And as always, peace and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean says be nice. And I'm going to stop recording real quick. Stop it. Make the madness